The movie opens with an American businessman named Park, his son being sick. Because the condition is so severe, doctors have not been able to diagnose it. Korean shamans are called to assist with the child's treatment once all roads have been shut. That is, these folks are limited to communicating with souls. They have the responsibility of protecting and combating invisible forces. Shaman Hwa-rim is introduced to us. She arrives with an assistant to tend to the possessed infant. After carrying out a few customs to see how the youngster is doing, Hwa-rim discovers that her grandfather is connected to the issue. Hwa-rim meets Park at his residence to talk about the matter. She discovers there that these people immigrated to the United States a long time ago. His great-grandfather is buried in Korea after passing away 100 years ago. Park informs Hwa-rim that this issue affects every child born in his family. This illness also claimed the life of his older brother. Hwa-rim assures Park that everything will be all right after hearing this, but she will want further assistance to assist him. The condition is so serious that she may need to travel to Korea. Later on, we meet Kim, a factory worker whose duty it is to locate cemeteries where people can be buried and have their spirits rest in peace. The spirits communicate their displeasure to their relatives. For instance, her family continued to experience nightmares involving an elderly woman. The elderly woman's anger stemmed from her grandson stealing her teeth, it turned out. The issue was resolved by giving the elderly woman her teeth back. As all of this is going on, Hwa-rim meets Kim and tells him about Park's predicament. His family actually has a very peculiar issue. Each oldest son born into the family has a medical condition. And since his grandfather is buried in Korea, all of these issues are related to this country. Kim immediately agreed to help Hwa-rim diagnose the problem upon hearing Korea's name. Park meets Kim the following day because he needs to handle his grandfather's exhumation, which Kim often handles. He needed to have Kim's details in order to continue. Kim is taken by Park to his grandfather's mountaintop tomb. This was no cemetery. This tomb was surrounded by a large number of foxes, which was not a good omen. Park's grandfather's tomb had no nameplate, which made it unusual. Park claims that because his grandfather was a general, the army gave him this cemetery. Kim was still baffled as to why this place. It certainly didn't appear to be a tomb. He was aware that this was the source of the issue. Hwa-rim sensed bad forces in this place. As he watches, Kim decides against doing the exhumation since it might endanger his life. When Hwa-rim hears this, she is afraid too. Hwa-rim, Kim, and Park reunite in the evening. Kim informs them that his daughter will shortly tie the knot. Park becomes enraged upon hearing this and informs them that his son is going to pass away. Kim and Hwa-rim are both angry. For this reason, Hwa-rim resolves to assist Park. Kim concurs as well, becoming tearful. The following day, Park's aunt attends the exhumation because she is Grandpa's daughter. Without her consent and signature, the burial could not be excavated. Hwa-rim, on the other hand, provided 5 pigs and everything needed for the event. She offers the pigs as a sacrifice to the 5 individuals who will be excavating this cemetery. As the grave is being dug, Hwa-rim conducts tremendous rites to distract attention away from the evil. Hwa-rim was playing with sticks and knives while belting out songs. Her mouth was also covered with scratches. She then dismembers the pigs' bodies and consumes their blood. She continued her rite till Grandpa's bones were removed. As soon as the bones are removed from the grave, a worker discovers a snake with a human head inside. This was not a good omen. To make matters worse, he slaughtered this creature covertly. The moment he does this, the weather turns terrible. Kim, who made the decision to cremate Grandpa's body, also ends this work. He believed that Grandpa's bones were connected to his soul, thus he wanted to do this work as quickly as possible. Grandpa will feel better if he does this. Kim has seen many horrible things in this Basque community, so he travels there to learn more about Grandpa's tomb. He discovered that the majority of people were unaware of Grandpa's grave. And those who were aware would know that his burial is replete with treasure. When a man learns of this in private, his avarice drives him to open Grandpa's casket. Grasps rage set his soul free. Hwa-rim initiates a ceremony in order to gain control of Grandpa's soul, which is a wise move. It might not be helpful, though, as Grandpa's soul has already been set free. He murders his wife and son as soon as he reaches America, the country where Park's family resides. Park is then terrified by Grandpa's ghost as well. Over the phone, Kim informs him that Grandpa's soul has been freed. Suddenly, there is a knock on the door. It looks like Kim was there as well. Over the phone, Kim warns Park not to open the door because it is Grandpa's spirit, and tell him to open the window, too. It is revealed that Grandpa's spirit was on the phone when Kim was outside the door. Kim gets keys from the hotel staff and enters Park's room, but it's too late. When he gets there, he sees that Park is completely taken over by the soul. Park, who is possessed, tells Grandpa why he wants to hurt his family. In fact, Grandpa betrayed his own people and made a lot of money when the US and Japan war began. Because of this, he moved his entire family to the US. They are wealthy because of their grandfather, but they haven't prayed for him. He murders the possessed Park in front of Kim because he is so furious about it. Park left Kim a puzzle before he passed away. A large animal that resembles a lion has removed a fox's bone. The only way Kim could stop him was to give Hwa-rim the order to burn Grandpa's bones. However, he needed Grandpa's daughter's okay before burning the bones. Kim tells her over the phone that the honest little boy will be killed by Grandpa's soul. Rather of excavating his bones, they must set fire to them in order to contain him. The daughter of Grandpa approves of this scheme. When the bones are burned and everyone is set free, Grandpa's soul passes away. However, the tale is not done. Kim meets the gravedigger for Grandpa. He is terrified by large snakes in his dream that had human heads. He tells Kim about the snake with one head and it's been bothering him. Kim returns in search of the truth. Kim discovers a dead snake when he opens the burial. Additionally, he discovers a coffin underneath it. As soon as he sees the casket, he orders his friends to remove it. Even still, they were baffled as to why this casket had been placed next to Grandpa's tomb. There was cover all around this burial. The time was 12 in the morning. They had no control over this coffin. They choose to keep this coffin in a temple close by. Additionally, there was a potential that this coffin contained an evil spirit that would be difficult to deal with. After sealing the casket with rice and blood, they depart. Subsequently, we meet Hwa-rim's assistant, who is terrified of something odd. He advances to examine the casket. He witnesses a 7-foot-tall man devouring a human. Terrified, he yells for Hwa-rim. As it happens, Hwa-rim had a dream in which she learned charms from her grandma. She awakens up to the sound of her assistant's voice. Her assistant looked at the empty and exposed casket, terrified. A general's helmet is also inside the coffin. A general enters the room again at the same moment. The general asks, "Is there a human in the room?" Hwa-rim declines and poses as a tree spirit and a slave to mankind. Regretfully, the general discovers that a person is present in the chamber. Before Hwa-rim strikes her, her assistant arrives and saves him. He tries in vain to hit the general with a laser as well. Hwa-rim's helper has been injured by the general. Kim and his assistant arrive just in time, but the enormous ghost terrifies them. This ghost lets out a loud noise after a second. Morning breaks before he can murder them, so he had to flee. They discover that Hwa-rim's aide is possessed when they bring him to the hospital. Kim discovers all of this by returning to the grave. When Kim opens the grave, he discovers the samurai's diary within a hidden chamber. The casket held the samurai's helmet. A formidable shaman cursed the samurai for being a traitor who betrayed his own people. The intention of the curse was to cause long-term harm to the samurai's offspring and descendants. Kim discovers that the angry ghost they have been seeing is actually the samurai's former self, determined to protect his secrets. However, as Kim continues to read the diary, he discovers a startling reality. The samurai's treachery was not only premeditated, but it was also an attempt to be the most powerful. He struck a bargain with an evil force to exchange his soul for power and immortality. The creature, only known as the Devourer, thrives on the suffering and terror of others. The samurai's spirit has been attempting to prevent the Devourer from calling again by keeping the details of his life a secret. Kim is aware that in order to put an end to the ghost and stop the Devourer from coming again, he must move quickly. When he and Hwa-rim reunite, they carry out a potent ritual to drive out the spirit and break the curse. They are ultimately successful in vanquishing the spirit and lifting the curse. With the Devourer not being summoned, the town may now finally relax. Knowing that they have prevented evil from taking many lives, Kim and Hwa-rim's friendship is stronger than ever as they bid each other farewell. To ensure you never miss any updates on new videos, kindly click the bell icon, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.